It's Tuesday, May the 9th, 2017, and this is your Barbados Today evening update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, Barbados has recorded 2% economic growth during the first quarter of this year, and that's according to the acting central bank governor Cleviston Haynes today in his first review of the economy since taking over from Dr. Delisle Worrell, who was dismissed in February this year following differences with his boss, Finance Minister Chris Sinclair, over fiscal policy. In an official statement just before resuming the bank's press conferences, which were scrapped by Dr. Worrell, Haynes suggested that the growth could have been even bigger if those planned investment projects had got off the ground.
The expansion was primarily driven by activity in the tourism sector, but a more robust recovery was hampered by ongoing delays to the start of anticipated investment projects. The delays also impacted the growth of international reserves during the quarter, but higher tourism earnings contributed to a modest increase in reserves and a slight improvement in the import reserve cover at the end of the review period. The government maintained its focus on its program of fiscal consolidation, resulting in a further narrowing of the deficit for fiscal year 2016-2017. Improved tax collections resulting from the suite of measures introduced in recent years, together with the containment of non-interest expenditure, enabled the deficit to GDP ratio to fall to its lowest level since fiscal year 2011-2012. Despite these gains, the deficit was estimated to be marginally short of the target of 5.8%, largely due to the delayed execution of planned divestment of state assets.
The acting central bank governor also reported that while the crucial foreign reserves rose to $705.4 million, they remained below the benchmark of 12 weeks.
As at March 31st, 2017, the international reserves stood at $705.4 million, following an increase of $24.3 million in the first quarter. This improvement compares with an average first quarter increase of $19 million over the past 5 years. However, the import reserve cover of 10.7 weeks at the end of March 2017 remained below the 12-week benchmark, in part a reflection of the larger than usual net public sector capital outflows in fiscal year 2016-2017.
Looking ahead, he noted that overall the Barbados economy has recorded gains in addressing some of its economic issues, but challenges remained.
The Barbados economy has made gains in addressing some of the macroeconomic imbalances faced in recent years. However, challenges remain, and stabilization now requires further concerted attention to fiscal adjustment and the acceleration of project implementation. Under the current policy framework, government's forecast for the fiscal deficit for fiscal year 2017-2018 is 4.4% of GDP. However, given the financing constraints government now faces, together with the decline in international reserves over the past 3 years, there is need for further fiscal consolidation.
In other news now, the minister responsible for town and country planning, Prime Minister Stuart, is fighting back against social activist David Comissiong, who wants a judicial review of the permission granted by him to businessman Mark Maloney to build the US $100 million Hyatt-centric resort on Bay Street, the city. The Prime Minister is challenging Comissiong's application for the review, contending that he doesn't have the financial or legal interest in the matter to bring such a claim against his decision to grant the permission. Our Fenella Wedderburn reports on the case, which was scheduled to be heard this morning before Madam Justice Sonia Richards.
The case in which Mr. Comissiong is challenging the minister responsible for town and country planning, Prime Minister Stuart, has hit 3 legal roadblocks. The matter was expected to be heard in the High Court this morning before Madam Justice Sonia Richards. But Mr. Comissiong told reporters on the steps of the Supreme Court that not only was the judge on leave, but Minister Stuart filed an application some 2 weeks ago challenging his application for judicial review of the planned construction of the controversial Hyatt-centric hotel project.
The minister responsible for town and country planning, who happens to be the Prime Minister of Barbados, is challenging my application for judicial review on the ground that I don't have a financial or legal interest in the matter at issue, that simply as a citizen I do not possess the standing, what lawyers call the locus standi, to bring such a claim for judicial review of his actions.
That report from our Fernella Wedderburn, who says that the case has been tentatively adjourned until July the 7th. Meanwhile, Comissiong this morning hit back at 4 government ministers who criticized him for challenging the permission granted to build the Hyatt. He named Minister of Industry Donville Innes, Minister of Social Care Steve Blackett, Minister of Culture Stephen Lashley, and particularly Minister of Housing and Lands Dennis Kelman, who suggested that Comissiong was an enemy of the state.
And I want to send a message to all of those government ministers that I will not be intimidated. I understand that the office of citizen is the highest office in the land. The office of citizen says that the country belongs to you as a citizen. The office of Minister of Government is a temporary office. The office of citizen is a permanent office in which one has ownership of one's country. So I will not be intimidated because the principle at stake is too important. It is a principle that says we as citizens must be engaged. We must challenge, we must demand accountability.
The government service could be hit by industrial action anytime soon. The Barbados Secondary Teachers Union was meeting in emergency session this afternoon with its shop stewards at union headquarters. Declaring that something's happening, a circular sent to members said that following today's meeting, the shop stewards will then meet tomorrow with teachers at their various schools to update them on the status of unresolved industrial relations issues. The circular also warned members to stand by. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding an accident which occurred this morning on Baxter Road, the city, in which motorcyclist Ronaldo Phillips, 26, of Phillips Road, the Pine St. Michael, sustained a fractured forearm and bruises to his lip. The motorcycle, which Phillips was riding, was involved in the accident with a minibus driven by 33-year-old Rishan Bourne of Bourne's Land, Christchurch.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
When it comes to your family, what do you dream of? Enjoying the sights of Italy, seeing the Eiffel Tower for the first time, or experiencing the cuisine of Spain? Courts can make your family dream come true. Shop at Courts for a chance to win a dream cruise for a family of 4. Spend $999 or over at any Court store or online at shopcourts.com. Every $100 gets you a chance to win that cruise to give you more fun time with your family by cruising the Mediterranean, a value of over $20,000. So stop dreaming and start shopping to make your dream come true at Courts, bringing value home.
Good morning, Phillips & Company, may I help? Oh, certainly. One moment, please. Miss Phillips? Yeah? There's a lady on the line from the Nation newspaper who would like to speak with you.
The Nation? Will she go on?
Well, they're trying to sell us some ads.
Look, don't make me laugh this morning. Ads in the Nation? They're real expensive, and for 1 year, nobody ain't buying them papers no more. Nobody want to steal news. I hear reading Barbados Today online for free. So I tell she thanks for calling, but no thanks. We just advertising Barbados Today, families. Tell she is Barbados Today all the way.
Okay, I'll pass on the message. Ma'am, are you still there? Oh, she put it down.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the region now. It's Budget Day in St. Lucia today. Prime Minister Alan Chastanet was this evening delivering his 2017-2018 budget, his first since coming to office last year. He will present a roadmap for the country and focus on the implementation of programs, projects, and policies to build a new St. Lucia. And on the international scene, a tunnel partly collapsed today at a plutonium handling facility at the Hanford Nuclear Reservation in Washington State, but there was no indication workers or the public were exposed to radiation. Workers evacuated or took cover and turned off ventilation systems after damage was discovered in the wall of a transport tunnel about 170 miles east of Seattle. That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper email updates and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.